Hey guys, so I'm gonna do something today that I have not done yet, and it's going to be a little bit of a commentary on what's going on in the CrossFit community. It's a style of video that I've wanted to do for a while, and amidst all the changes that have happened in this season, all of the things that have gone down, for some reason I felt like this would be a good one to finally start on. And that is my thoughts on Hunter McIntyre going to the CrossFit Games. Now, I'm going to start this video off just so you all know where I'm coming from by saying I think it's great. I think it's awesome that he's going because he's going on a wild card, or that's what everyone has been calling it, and everything I've seen has said Hunter McIntyre is going to the CrossFit Games on a wild card invitational. Similar to how Matt Fraser, Rich Froning, and a bunch of other people have gone to sanctionals on invitations. The difference being the sanctional, you still have to win in order to get an invite to the games. This bypasses all of those. And I've heard of a lot of people really getting upset with Hunter on getting this invitation. In fact, Arm & Hammer on his YouTube channel has an interview with Brent Fikowski and Hunter together, and to me, I don't get it. Now, this is obviously coming from a person who works out in his backyard. I am nowhere close to the level of these competitors. So I really don't understand the frustration there. And there was a lot. You could tell that Brent really wasn't having it. I listened to about half of the interview, but you really need to listen to about 3 minutes to know where he's coming from, because he opens up the interview by saying that talk is not going to go well, and I didn't agree with how that started. But that aside, I think this is a great opportunity. Everyone has known about a potential wild card spot for months now. Greg Glassman has said that he wanted one person from each country. There's about 160 countries. He wanted the top 20 of the Open, and he wanted the top in the 16 sanctionals. So that's 196. And so he said that left him open with 4 wildcard spots. And what I think is kind of bypassed here is that Greg Glassman did not just call these wildcard spots, he called it a blowhard invitational. He wanted to give this to a person that built a community, who just is that guy that talks, that person that you always knew growing up, who just did nothing but talk, saying, yeah, I could totally beat those guys. The armchair quarterbacks who watch football and say, oh man, I could run this game better than the coach. He's challenging those people. He's calling out all the blowhards of the CrossFit community and challenging them. And Hunter McIntyre fit that role. So going back to what Glassman said, he said, this was back in September of last year. He says, you need a community. So there needs to be someone with a loud mouth with a bunch of people saying, yeah, you'll do great. Essentially, someone who didn't qualify through the Open, through the sanctionals, through being the best in the country, but just have enough people saying, yeah, you'll do great, have a community behind them, and essentially be arrogant enough to say that they'll step up and compete against the Matt Fraser, the Brent Fikowski, the Patrick Vellner. That's what Hunter McIntyre did. He sought out for that. He built a community. He started a YouTube campaign with FitAid supporting him the whole way through. He had people like Ryan Fisher helping him out. He had some great coaches helping him out. He made a run of this. He worked hard for it. No, he didn't go through a sanctional. No, he didn't win through the Open. But he got a spot that we all knew was going to be out there. We all heard about it. So I don't understand why people are upset. If you decided to not go to a sanctional and you're going to the games because of the Open, great, that was your plan. If you decided not to go through the Open because you wanted to win a sanctional, great, that was your plan. Hunter wanted to beat the odds and get one of the potentially 4 Open spots for a blowhard invitational. And I think that sums it up. I think this is just pure Greg Glassman of everything I've heard about him. I remember when I started following this community, He was challenging Coca-Cola. He was just going right for the king of pop and challenging them. He wanted to go against everybody that stood against CrossFit. He wanted to just challenge everything he didn't agree with. And so now he's calling it out to all those people who maybe just think that they're better CrossFitters, or maybe think that they're from a different sport and can compete, like Hunter. Calling them out, challenging them, saying, you can come to my games and I'll pit you against the best of the best. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. Last year we saw a lot of CrossFit athletes go to the OCR World Championship and get destroyed in the competition, but it was just fun competition. Do I think Hunter McIntyre will podium? No, I really don't. But do I think he's got a shot to be competitive? Yeah, I do. And I think it's going to be awesome to watch. So Hunter, if you're ever watching this, congratulations on your invite. It's the blowhard invite. It's the wild card. You knew what you were going for. You set a goal and you accomplished it, which is awesome. No, he didn't go through a sanctional. I don't understand why all the athletes are really complaining about that, especially when the majority of the athletes that we've seen in past years have already locked in their spot. Hunter is not taking anyone's position. He earned a spot that we all knew was going to be out there. There was nothing stopping, Brent Fikowski. I'm just using him as an example because he did the interview. There was nothing stopping him from launching a YouTube campaign and not qualifying through, or not qualifying for the games through a sanctional or through the open. He could have done that and he chose not to. Hunter chose to go after one of the 4 positions out of 200. So he really wanted to try and beat the odds. I think he did. Congratulations, Hunter. And we'll see what happens in August. We'll see how he places. I really think he'll do well in some of the events. And I'm excited. So it just makes August that much more interesting for me. I can't wait to see what happens in Madison. I have to get to working out now. So remember, everybody, we're all in progress. And I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about this down in the comments. So drop one below. Do you think Hunter deserves to go to the games, or do you think this is just garbage? Let me know.